Hey there, and welcome to Designing Student Media Projects with the MediaSpot. In this short presentation, I want to walk everyone through briefly what the MediaSpots are and some best practices for doing media projects at the MediaSpot. So what are the MediaSpots? We like to say they're state-of-the-art media production and post-production computer labs, and right now they are on the Clarkston and Dunwoody campuses in CL 2352 and at Dunwoody in Neo 180. You can see our hours of operation here and on our website. We're open 9 to 9 most days, Fridays 9 to 4 and Saturdays 10 to 3 at both locations. So what kinds of things do students find at the MediaSpots? They'll find Mac Pro and iMac workstations, software for video, audio production, and graphics, equipment to check out after they take training classes, training on software and the hardware that we have for checkout, an incredibly skilled staff with industry experience, and in-class support and training for any faculty who are interested in putting a media project in their course. We've got the Flip Ultra HD second generation video cameras, the Canon Rebel XSIs and T1Is which shoot video, the Zoom audio recorder there which records audio in a very high quality format, and the JVC Prosumer HD camera which requires a little bit more training. You'll also note that we have an online reservation and checkout system available for students. Students can use it to reserve equipment and workstations online for their projects, and we, as I mentioned, have training classes in photography, videography, lighting, Photoshop, motion graphics, and more each month. Now, we do work with faculty to help design student media projects and to do training in class. So as the digital media coordinator, I generally meet with faculty prior to semester start to set up the timeline and the equipment and the training needs, while our supervisors and staff support student learning and the use of technology on a day-to-day basis. Students, we hope, become more media literate as they learn how to use our technology and gain a deeper understanding of the course materials along the way. So, over the past year and a half, the MediaSpot has helped students complete media projects in everything from dental hygiene and drawing, education and English, journalism, political science, public speaking, public administration, physical education, and sign language interpretation. So, if you are interested in designing a student media project, here's a few things to keep in mind. The whole goal of this, from our perspective, is to increase the media literacy of the students who are doing these projects. And media literacy is basically the process of analyzing, evaluating, and creating messages in a wide variety of media modes. And media literacy education is growing because of an increased emphasis on 21st century literacies. So if you're planning on doing a media project, remember it should be designed so that it aligns with course objectives that you're trying to get your students to learn. Here's an example. In the silver box throughout this presentation, you'll see examples of projects that faculty have designed, and this one was a 3 to 5 minute video produced by students in an Education 2120 course, and they were tasked with looking at either the effects of poverty on children in schools today, the problems of being a non-English speaker in American classrooms, or effective strategies for inclusion of students with ADHD and learning disabilities in general in the education classrooms today. And so these students interviewed teachers at several schools about their strategies for dealing with one of these topics, then shared it with the class. This is a kind of a chart that looks at the different thinking skill levels that you'll want your students to engage with at the different project levels that you've got. So at the bottom there is reflection podcast, which is more just comprehension. There's an application video where a student would produce a video presentation that illustrates key concepts and how the concepts can be used to solve a problem. That's getting to the application stage. Analysis, video analysis, this is where students would find examples of videos from YouTube illustrating a particular concept. This is something that a lot of professors do at the beginning of the semester, and this allows students to start looking at the components that they're going to want to put in their own videos as they make them. Synthesis, that level of thinking, is really where short videos or podcasts come into play, and the students or the professor choose a overarching theme and tie in several course concepts to demonstrate understanding of the interrelationships between those concepts. And a critique in iCollege, where you know, after they make the videos, you embed or link to the videos. I can't emphasize enough the need to design short, thoughtful projects that can be completed in a reasonable time period. One project is generally enough for students in one semester, and it's generally enough for faculty as well. Especially if you've never done one before, I would take on just one project in one class the first time you do it, and from there, once you figure out the workflow you want to do with the media project, you'll be much better prepared the next time to possibly broaden it to 2 classes or even 3. Here's an example of a still image from a water conservation video that was made in a COM 1201 class, where students worked in teams of 3 to produce 3 to 4 minute videos illustrating key concepts on solutions related to solving the need for water conservation in Metro Atlanta. And they had to pick one of the following topics. Again, choice can also be really appreciated by students in a project like this. If possible, faculty should consult with OIT staff before beginning the project. And if your media project involves photography, video or audio production, or editing, please make contact with the digital media coordinator at least one semester ahead of time if possible. And if you are watching this and you're like, hey, I really want to do this, the semester's already started, go ahead and contact me and we'll make it work. But I do find that the more planning time that we have, the better off we'll be. And the number of faculty doing media projects increases every semester, so just getting it all on the calendar for training purposes as early as possible will make sure that we get your project done. And this is just a little still from a public administration class project where students interviewed different public administrators about their jobs. So one key question you're going to have to ask yourself is, how much in-class time can you allocate? But please remember that when students are learning new and unfamiliar technologies and techniques such as editing, it's really essential for them to get training for the project to end up being successful. If they don't get enough training, they are going to, wallow around, and probably the final products are not going to be as good as you would hope. So here's a few time management recommendations. Work with the digital media coordinator, again, one semester in advance if possible, to determine how many in-class trainings you need. On average, students are going to need at least 2, possibly 3 training sessions for a video project to be done properly. Give some serious thought to how you will fit a media project into your normal course, and don't try to do too much, especially the first time you do it. Again, I would try to do one modest-sized project in one class the first time you do it. Be clear when assigning the project, especially in terms of time. It works best to give students a fixed time period, such as give them 1 month from the introduction of the assignment and first training, and then they start collecting their shots and writing their scripts. Then when they learn how to edit, then those last couple of weeks are all about editing. So a lot of times, I have found that if you give students the entire semester on a project like this, they still wait till the last minute and they don't produce the best projects possible. So if we can have a limited time period. 1 or 2 months is a good time frame for them to begin thinking about their project and what they'd like to do. Go ahead and get the training they need, and then turn in a rough cut of their project and then a final cut. And make sure students understand, sorry that went by a little fast, basically make sure students understand that they will need to spend extra time outside of class working on their project.